Hey, I am doing this video because I had a really good friend of mine ask me a question tonight when or text me, whatever, or message me. And I kind of find it kind of funny is that sometimes I still have a hard time believing that people really looked for me for advice. I've never really been one to feel that I have that kind of information because I've never, like I said before, I've always said I'm not a professional, like I'm not a dietitian or anything like that, but these are things that I do that I find works for me. And so far, so good. It is a learning thing. I still am learning, but I thought I would do this video because what her question was is with me eating healthy and trying to watch what I eat and everything and stay motivated and that kind of stuff. She wanted to know how I do it when my husband doesn't really follow my healthy lifestyle. And I know I have posted before, but it's been quite a while, so I thought I would redo this video, and I'm going to try and do it short. I promise. I do tend to ramble a little bit, so I do promise to keep this short. So, what do I do when I eat healthy? And my husband doesn't want to eat healthy. Honestly, my husband is, he's actually really good. A lot of times I find he will eat pretty much anything that I make. The only thing I've never been able to convince him on is the cauliflower pizza. To him, pizza means you pick it up by your fingers, and my cauliflower pizza you can't. So to him, it's more like a pizza casserole, he says. So I don't go there. I'm just like, whatever, that's fine. No biggie. But in general, he actually does pretty good. Like, he actually eats pretty much whatever it is that I make. Now, was it like that in the very beginning? No, it wasn't. Um, but I will say he is a lot more easygoing that way than I probably have been in the past. So what I do is a lot of times I start off with I make a menu is actually what I do. That is a big thing for me. I even do that when I do my free groups. I post a menu. I find that really, really helps. It helps him, it helps me, and it just helps in general, even with our grocery bill, because then we kind of know what we're getting. Because I don't know about you, but I find if I don't have a list, if I don't have a menu, then we end up buying stuff that I normally wouldn't buy or that kind of stuff, and then that's when you can end up getting off target or off your zone. So that is a big thing for me is I do a menu up. And I think too it always seems to help the other people too because they have an idea of what you're going to cook. And they might look at it and go, "Hey, what is that cauliflower fried rice? What does that taste like?" And if you have little ones, this is a really good time for them to learn too that, you know, of organizing and getting that kind of stuff together. And, I would encourage them to try your healthy eating because it might actually be something they might like. And, just because it's not Pop Tarts or, I don't know, like takeout food or anything like that, sometimes it's nice to incorporate new recipes and things like that. You never know. They might actually surprise you and really, really like the cauliflower fried rice. Honestly, I prefer it. I don't find it that bad. I find it's even better because I find with rice I feel like blah afterwards, and with the cauliflower I don't feel like that at all. So I'm not going to get off topic because I told you I was going to try and keep this short. So that's tip number one is I always do a menu so I know ahead of time what I'm going to do. Tip number two is I always try to plan unless for some reason I'm working a 12-hour shift on the Sunday, is I do try to incorporate a big meal on a Sunday. But that can be typically, that could be any day. Like you guys know that I'm in like I work at a nursing home. So sometimes my days off are through the week. So if it's my day off and it's the day before I start my shifts or whatever, I'll use that day as my Sunday and I'll do up a big roast chicken or a ham or a roast pork. And then I know I'm going to have leftovers. So with the roast chicken, this is where it gets a little tricky because my husband and my mother love stuffing. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll cook up the chicken. I will also put their stuffing and their mashed potatoes. And then where I come in is I will do the same thing. The only difference is instead of mashed potatoes, I always do mashed cauliflower. And I always add an extra vegetable. So I like it because I feel that I'm part of, that family meal. I'm not eating something totally wonky, and everybody's enjoying their big Sunday dinner. So that part of it I find is very simple. I just chop up or cauliflower, boil it down, and then drain it, and then I mash it, and that's my potato. And it actually tastes really darn good. I actually like it because I can add more to it to give it more extra flavor. So I really like that. So that's one thing I always do. And then the best part about that is I'm going to have leftovers. So I'll keep a little bit of the chicken on the side. So if there's leftovers for them, what I'll do is 90% of the time they'll have either like hot chicken sandwiches with what's the leftovers, or yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, hot chicken sandwiches. And then what I'll do is I will have some of the meat set aside, and then I will do like either a burrito bowl, or I'll put the chicken in my salad, or things like that. So it's a win-win overall for everybody. But yes, if I ever do a meal that I know there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't be eating, I always add an extra vegetable. That is my go-to. Um, so that brings up the number 3 tip, and that is when I make a meal for them that they like. So perfect example was this week so far. I have been working nights, so I don't really eat a big meal when I wake up. So I would make sure that they had their supper, and then I would just throw something together for me, like a salad with chicken, or what did I do? Oh, my pad thai, my spaghetti squash. I had that for 2 nights. So I will do that. But if it's a meal that they like, so this week I made meatloaf and mashed potatoes. So I don't like meatloaf and mashed potatoes. So I will do 2 separate meals. And um, my husband's gotten used to that, so it's not really a big deal for him. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will cook up their meal, and then while theirs is cooking, which technically isn't really a lot of extra work, because once you make the meatloaf, you put it in the oven, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. So while that's cooking is when I'll do my stuff. So this week I did my taco bowl in the spaghetti squash, and that was really tasty. And so I had that for supper while they had their meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and veggie. So yeah, I find that really works well. I don't do that very often. I find I don't have to do that very often. In fact, a lot of times, and I'm sure you will find this as well, is that a lot of meals I make, my husband's actually started to really like and enjoy. And so I will make a meal for him and then I'll just whip something up quick for mom because she's the fussiest one out of the 3 of us. So a lot of times that's what I'll do is I will make, yeah, because he likes my cauliflower rice, he likes the spaghetti squash, so he's getting a little more onto my side. But anyway, so that's for that. Now, the biggest, I guess I could say, the biggest downfall I have with me eating healthy and my family that don't, I have to say, is the snacking. That's probably the biggest one because he likes his stuff and I shouldn't say that. I don't always buy it for him, but sometimes I do as a treat. So what I do is if I know that I'm going to buy him, like, say, corn twists, or he's been on a ketchup chip thing lately. So what I'll do is, so that way I don't end up going off the wagon, so to speak, and end up doing eating something I really don't want to, I will do an alternative. So I always look for that to have that as a stash. So that way, if he's having chips and my mom's having popcorn, then I'll do this where I'll just bring this up. So I always get, ooh, there it is, my rice cakes. So that would be my treat. So I still get to snack with them, but I pick a healthier version of that snack. My husband and my mother drink a lot of pop, and my husband's been getting better at it, but he still drinks a lot of pop. And I have done a video before of how I got rid of pop in my system, and I am thankful for that. But every once in a while, I really, really want something bubbly. And tonight was that night, I'll tell you that much. That's kind of funny. So yeah, I do the sparkling water. Ooh, there it is. And there's literally nothing in this. All it is carbonated water and lemon. No additives, no preservatives, no weird names, no weird codes, nothing. It's just carbonated water and lemon, and that's my pop. And I will have that as my treat. So every once in a while, I will treat myself. Like I said, we go out for dinner or something like that, and I will eat. I try to pick something on the healthier side. I'm not one of those people that says, can you put that on? Could you put the dressing on the side? Could you not put this? Like, I'm not like that kind of person, but I do plan that if I know I'm going out for supper, I will work and organize my containers so that way I can have a little extra for that meal, and then I don't feel guilty as if I went way overboard. So I hope this helped. I think I covered everything. And if there's any other questions that you guys might have or anything like that, but like I said, I always, always, always don't not include myself in my meals. We always do that. What I would do is I don't eat potatoes. So a lot of times I would just add another vegetable. And for snacks, like I said, try and pick something healthier than what they're eating. Eventually, I find sometimes a lot of things my family has actually incorporated into what I've been eating, and they actually go along with it. The only one I think that never will, ever, will be my mother. And so I still have to do that. But like I said, like, she's a dessert person, and so is my husband. He's not as bad. He's gotten worse since my mom's been here, but so I will try a healthier version. So that's when I save my apple and peanut butter for my snack or something like that. So that's probably one of the biggest ticket or key tips that I have, is that I always try to find a healthy alternative to what it is that my family would be eating. So yeah, and I think you will find overall a lot of it doesn't really bother them or upset them if they see your plate has vegetables and meat or something like that, and it's not a little different. And if they ask, then explain it to them. Tell them what you're doing. Like, there's no shame in you trying to live a healthier lifestyle. So tell them what you're doing, and I bet you any money they might actually be more interested than you would think. So I'm going to sign off, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want, you can go to my like page, or you can comment message below. I would love to help anybody if they have any more questions. So you take care. I'll talk to you later.